Hi, sixth graders. We are going to, we are to the point in this project where we are going to try to figure out exactly how much calcium chloride and baking soda we need in order to reach the target temperature that we need for our egg incubator. Now, from yesterday's discussion, we did learn that the eggs that were found on the construction site are indeed snake eggs. And so the incubation temperature that we're shooting for is somewhere between 28 and 32 degrees Celsius. Okay, so we need to find out what combination of calcium chloride and baking soda will yield that temperature. And also we wanted to use some baking soda in it because baking soda mixed with calcium chloride and water will produce a gas. And we learned that putting that inside of a baggie and sealing it up will make the baggie puff up a little bit and provide a little bit more cushion. And so in this lab, we are going to, they're going to start us out with a couple combinations here, some specific measurements, and everybody in their kit in my class is going to get 3 measuring spoons, a half teaspoon, a quarter teaspoon, and an eighth of a teaspoon. And then they're going to get 2 small plastic cups, some water, a thermometer, a graduated cylinder to measure with, and then some chemicals. So we've got calcium chloride right here. Calcium chloride, again, this is the like the salt that you'd put down on your sidewalk to melt the ice. And then NaHCO3, we call it nacho in class, and this is just regular baking soda. All right. So it says that in the procedure here, and if you look down at this chart, they're starting us out with a specific amount of calcium chloride, a specific amount of baking soda and water, and then we are going to find out where we're at from here. And then we can adjust these two things in order to reach that target temperature of 28 to 32 degrees Celsius. All right, so they say to have 15 milliliters of water in all of the experiments. So I'm going to make this big so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I've got these 2 plastic cups, not so clear anymore because we've been doing experiments in them, so they're a little bit, got a little bit of stuff left on them. 15 mils of water. Okay. All right, so we're going to put 15 milliliters of water in 1 cup, and then I'm going to measure out a half of a teaspoon of calcium chloride, make it nice and level, and an eighth of a teaspoon of NaHCO3 or baking soda. Okay. Mix this together in here. That's just regular dry. I don't have any water in here. And then we're going to put it into here. And you can see that it fizzes. That's the kind of effect we're going for in order to make the baggie puff up and create some cushion for us. And again, we're going for 28 to 32 degrees. And this is all the way up to, this is 33 degrees. So it's a little too hot. All right, so what do? Well, we pour it out. Pour it out, and then we're going to try again, okay, with a different amount this time. So maybe I'll start out, I'm going to start out again with, rinse this out a little bit. Start out again with 15 milliliters of water. They want us to do 15 every time, but then we're going to adjust it a little bit. I like the bubbles that the baking soda gave us. So I'm going to keep that in there. But maybe we'll do the same combination. Okay, so we'll do a half teaspoon and an eighth a teaspoon, just like last time. Oops. But we're gonna do, maybe we'll do, instead of an eighth of a teaspoon of baking soda, we'll do a quarter of a teaspoon. So we're doing a little bit more baking soda, and maybe that will cool it enough that we will get into our target temperature. Okay, so I'm gonna try that now. Got the chemicals in here. It's fizzing up again. Swirl it to dissolve it. And we're gonna check. And that is clearly too cold. Oh wait, maybe it's not. Yep, it's too cold. That only went up to 25 degrees. That little bit of baking soda. Oh, it's climbing a little bit. I can feel it's warm on the bottom. That might be our ticket right there. It's about 29 degrees right now. So that works. Okay, so what did I do? I did a half a teaspoon of calcium chloride and I did a quarter teaspoon of baking soda. So on my lab sheet, if I go back here, this one here, remember this was our first trial, and the heat, it went up to 33 degrees. This one now is at about 29.5 degrees. So that does fall within the area that I need it to, okay? The next part is going to be to see what that all looks like in a plastic bag. All right, and so that's what we're gonna try to do tomorrow. All right, so I will show you that tomorrow. Now that I know kind of how much of each chemical I need, I'm gonna see if I can put it into a plastic bag like this. Okay, I'm going to separate the water from the chemical, and we're kind of making a heat pack. All right, so I'll show you tomorrow. I'll do this for you tomorrow so you can kind of see what the students are doing. I would like for you, though, you distance learners, you can write down the initial temperature of the initial temperature of just the water was 22 degrees. Okay, our final temperature for our first trial with these amounts was 33. And that was a little bit high, right? We're shooting for 28 to 32. Our second trial, we did a half teaspoon of calcium chloride and a quarter teaspoon of baking soda. Our initial temperature was 22 degrees Celsius, and our final temperature was 29.5 degrees, okay? And so that's all the further we're gonna go. We don't even need to do a third trial because that one worked out just perfectly, all right? So if you could, fill that in for today, and tomorrow I will show you this last little bit, and I'll talk to you soon.